welcome to another fabulous episode of Weekly Dead. All right, we're reviewing 2 episodes this week, 14 and 15. There's one left. And first of all, let me say I was right. I told you, at this point, B should cut to a scene of me telling Kyle episode 14 would happen. But, that being said, I like the way they covered it. They covered it far better than they did in the comic books.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because they made me care more about these characters than the two characters that covered that in the comic books.
Yeah.
Now, hopefully, you have seen episode 14, because we are going to do some major spoilers.
Major.
If you haven't seen it, know that it is one of the defining moments of the series, if not a milestone in television history.
Exactly.
This will be one of those episodes they talk about from years to come. If you haven't seen it, please watch it, then come back and watch this video.
Okay.
All right. That's been your spoiler warning.
Everybody gets one. Spider-Man said
right.
it first.
You know, because I really don't want to spoil that for you. Even having predicted it coming,
Yeah.
Right.
It was still nice to see.
you know, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, and actually, now you should cut to that scene after they give them the spoiler.
Yeah.
All right.
If your editing time, allows.
Okay.
But okay, episode 14. They've been doing a series of character episodes. And 14 was Carol and Tyrese and the girls. Whereas episode 15 was Maggie and Glenn finally, and Abraham.
It went all over, but yeah.
And
two groups meeting
and
one
these,
another.
those two groups met, and then of course it also
showed
touched
Daryl's
on
stuff.
Daryl and Rick. So
Yeah, I love
all
Daryl's
these
stuff.
episodes have
I do
kind of
too.
been building into them meeting in one place. And it
But they
starts
still
out
haven't.
episode. Yeah, they haven't done it yet.
I think that's going to end up being a good thing.
Yeah,
Them not quite meeting yet.
Yeah. Because right now they're
Right.
all over the place.
Yeah.
Yet they're in the
I
same
think-
general area.
I think how when they do finally get to terminus,
Yeah.
obviously we know shit's not good there. They've
No.
spoiled that. I never thought it was going to be a happy, wonderful place.
I never did either.
So
There's still some
I
mystery
think
there,
they're
though.
going to get there,
Definitely.
and they are going to come together for the sheer sake of saving their own asses.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
That would be a good, believable plot point for them to drive together.
Yeah.
Now, as far as episode 14 goes, that was just an amazing episode.
Heart
The-
pounding.
The,
Very
the
hard
psychopathic kid who's...
She's layered, though. She's not...
Right. Now,
Yeah.
and you say psychopathic
She
because...
is. She's a psychopath in the zombie world. If she was in
Psycho.
our regular world that we're in now, she'd be like
and
a
it's
nun.
not like
she'd be a nun.
she's driven crazy.
She loves people. She just doesn't understand that those aren't people anymore. It is...
Well,
It's not that she understands
she
it. It's
can't.
just,
That's her only way. She's
Of
in
coping.
denial with the loss of her parents.
yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Of course.
She has to cope
So
with
this
it.
allows them to believe that they're out there somewhere.
Exactly,
Mhm.
exactly. Yes. She's unwilling to come to terms with what's going on.
You know.
She loves those people.
She doesn't
Those
understand life and death.
brain
Basically.
hungry people.
Yeah.
Uh,
Everybody needs one.
Now, and
Needs a hug.
I
Every once
will.
in a while, even if they're
He just
zombies.
wants to play. Look, he's playing.
Yeah. He needs our help. His name is Stu.
Yeah.
Come on.
and they hinted at it. When he was in the guy, the zombie in the train tracks, and
Yeah,
Tyrese.
they hinted
killing-
at it at the prison, even. When
Yeah,
she was
I mean,
feeding
yeah.
him. I mean, even though you
Yeah.
were technically not supposed to know that quite yet, but you kind of knew it.
Yeah.
Right, and
Even-
the dissected rabbit or
Mhm.
rat or whatever it was.
She was disturbed. There were
Yeah.
also some premonitions to that, some allusions to that in the house that they went in. They saw that painting of the girl that was all tore up and ripped up.
Yeah.
And that was, I guess, supposed to be suggesting that was coming down the line.
Yeah.
I wouldn't look for that in every episode.
Yeah, I wouldn't have called that
Yeah.
anything. I mean,
I wouldn't have either.
There's a lot of people doing that with this show now, and I'm not sure that I like
You know,
that aspect, but it was a great episode, and the way they portrayed
Nonetheless.
children. Let's get to it. The
Yeah,
way they're
no.
portraying children in this show, in this particular episode.
it's a very believable scenario that would happen to a young child
Yes.
who lost their parents and all their family. That they would have a mental break like that in this type
a
of
lot more
situation.
believable than Carl, in a way, than what's going
Way
on with
more.
Carl, in a way.
Mm-hmm.
He's just having
Uh,
traditional daddy issues in the backdrop of a zombie setting, and
Yeah.
I
He
think
doesn't
any
really
kid can
have
have
anybody he can cope
Yeah.
with at all.
What happened to this girl is specific to the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
In no other
I mean, she.
scenario does she go through this kind of psychosis and
Well,
Yeah,
you say that's
definitely.
unbelievable
Definitely.
for what's Carl's going
no,
through.
not
You know,
more
in the
believable, less
zombie
believable.
apocalypse, people would still have their daddy issues.
Agreed, but
You would
I
still
think you
have
would get
the
over
same
the mediocrity.
issues.
I think you would get over the pettiness. I think you would in a situation like that you would get over the pettiness of I'm so sorry dad and this and that.
Well,
So-
you see, and this is a perfect example. That's
Yeah.
harkening back to episode 13, and you had said in one of our private talks, the problem with the Carol episode was it does right what every other episode since the break has been doing wrong.
yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of truth to that, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You mean the fear of death?
Well,
And-
you know,
and
it's
impending
handled
doom.
like, the Carol and the kids. They handled that in a very good way, and this is a very poignant show. And now, sure, there wasn't a lot to that episode,
Oh no, not as far as as
but
acting
it
and
gave us
scenery
something
goes.
that deserved it.
Yes.
We
Yes.
didn't get that with the Rick and Michonne. Or Michonne knocking on the door at the end of that one episode.
Yeah.
That right. Oh, I mean, they didn't make what was supposed to be Carl going. Now, see, in the comics,
Okay. Back to the
these
comics.
are okay. These are two situations they stole from the comics.
Yes.
Mhm.
One they handled extremely
Yeah.
better. One they handled extremely worse.
Yes.
Now, in the comics, there comes a point where Carl thinks Rick's going to die. Now, in the comics, Carl is 9. Of course, you can't do that with a TV show because you can't freeze frame an actor's age.
Yes.
No, you can't.
No.
You can't stop it.
Not yet.
Not
Not
in
at all.
the
Not yet.
non-animated world, at least.
They're working on it.
You know, or you hire Gary Coleman, or
Which is not alive right now. Is it? No.
Or someone Gary Coleman. is.
someone that,
that size.
has that
And that
similar
complexion.
stature. But
What you
anyway,
talking about, Rick?
It'd be hilarious.
Is Gary Coleman dead?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
passed away
Yeah,
a few
he
years
did.
ago. I didn't think
Aw.
so
Years
either.
ago.
I had to. Someone told me he did, and I had to Wikipedia
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I was
Okay.
saddened too.
It's true.
No, I thought he just kind of faded away.
Yeah, last
No,
I heard he
you're
was like a
alright.
security guard at like Paramount Studios.
I did too.
And then he had like kidney problems his whole
Mhm.
life and had to go to a hospital.
Well, I know there were some
He
movies
made-
where he played a security guard.
Well, he did that as a
He just
joke
made a
because he
scene.
was a security guard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to the point.
Worked his whole life though. Go ahead.
Yeah, let's get
In
in.
show business.
All right,
his whole life.
so the scene is where now, all right, they do a similar showdown at the prison in the comic books.
Oh yeah. When the
now-
governor shows up.
All right,
Tank and all.
now, Rick gets shot in the comic books,
And Carl thinks he's gonna die.
and gets an infection.
Yes.
All right, and gets
Mm.
very sick.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so they go hide in the house,
Mhm.
and he thinks
Just what
he's gonna
happens
die.
in the
It's
show.
similar. Well,
Very
now,
similar,
in
very
the
similar.
show, he just gets the shit beat out of him,
Yeah.
and he's bruised and he's
Can't
ill.
breathe.
Well, he's got
So-
some ribs broken. I mean,
Yeah.
there's internal bleeding. This
Yeah.
He
still could be
still
very
doesn't
deadly.
look as in danger of dying as
Yeah.
he did in the book.
Definitely.
So the threat's not as real.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, credit to the
So,
artist. too.
When Carl's saying, because all those lines that Carl said in the show are straight out of the
Yes.
book almost.
Yeah.
So
When
Carl's
he's
saying
talking
like,
to
right,
Rick sleeping.
saying, Go
I don't
ahead
need
and
you,
die.
yeah.
I don't need you. It's him trying to accept that he is convinced he thinks his dad's gonna die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
And this is the
and
end.
in the comic book,
That felt
there's-
important in the show. That felt good.
yeah.
Yeah, even
So
though
in the
the
comic book,
episode
he's
wasn't that
laying
good,
there and he's like,
In the comic.
and at one point he's like,
But he wasn't turning.
and he's just like, and he reaches up.
Feels like shit.
Carl draws on him,
Yeah. Very similar to the
all
show.
right,
Yeah, definitely.
and goes to fire,
Okay.
But he can't do it.
and then says, "Fuck it, eat me.
Yeah.
I can't kill my dad too."
yeah.
You gotta.
No, you're right. The leader of that
So
group.
that group is just like the guy
Yeah.
trying to sell you the like.
Basically.
We're a bunch of fucked up guys who have, a bunch of white trash rednecks,
Yeah.
biker
and
gang, whatever.
Basically, you
We're
look like-
hooligans.
Yeah, you look like you'll fit the group. So
Um,
why not?
And it's harkening back to the guys he used to run with.
Yeah, and
oh,
Daryl
definitely. A life
obviously
he used to have that he was
trying to get away from.
Not even
Right,
trying,
that-
just
no,
sort
he
of
let
led in
his
that direction
brother-
and liked it and liked
He
it.
let his brother lead him that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Classic case of
But-
Big
younger
brother, little
brother.
brother,
But even
hero
though that,
worship,
that one
whatever.
episode when he
Hero
was
worship.
with Beth, I mean, technically he was letting it go.
Yeah.
In the past.
Him
moving
and
Right.
Beth were
forward.
great, yeah.
Well,
But
and
then
it's
the past
still
came
there.
Boom.
It
It's
came
still
with this
there.
new group.
He's a practicality. He's there, and he doesn't join them.
He
He
doesn't
never
say he
says, he never says he joins them.
Yeah.
did. No.
Uh,
The leader of that little group is actually a really wise guy, though.
He's pretty
smart.
good.
He's
pretty good.
he's come to terms with the reality of the world that they're living in
Yeah,
now.
definitely.
At one point he says, "Nah, this is about as normal as
I mean,
I think it could be." Man living
Well-
on his own and doing it.
doing his own
Back
thing.
before the zombie apocalypse, that's when it was strange. They're living the rat race.
Yeah, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Now,
That's when it
in
was
the
hard.
scene where they
for a normal
kill the
person.
guy and
They
he's
beat him to
walking
death.
out and
Yeah.
he almost throws the blanket over him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's him kind of struggling with it, show it.
With
That's
the
them
two
trying
lives.
to just say, "Oh no, there's still a good guy in there,"
He's just not sure he can be this good
yeah.
guy and survive with the group he's with right now.
Right.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And he doesn't decide to stick with them till he finds out about them hunting down some guy, and because he finds out,
He knows in his mind. He's like, I know who that is. Even if he's not quite sure it's
Right.
Rick, he knows that something.
he's hoping
Yeah.
it's Rick,
Yeah.
and
I'm kind of puzzled right
all
now
right,
because I didn't
so
even know
okay,
Well,
now,
remember when
here
Rick
it
was
is.
in the house hiding under the bed?
that. Yeah.
Those were those guys.
yeah, those
Oh!
are the same guys.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh.
All
And
right,
he talks about
okay,
some dude
so
killed
Does he
him.
recognize his face though?
Well, only one guy saw his face.
right,
Oh,
Yeah.
and that guy's still with the group
Yes.
and still. Oh,
the
Yeah.
guy that was put to sleep.
Oh.
Yeah. So
All
good
right.
on Daryl because he could still save Rick depending
He
on
can.
the order of how things go when they get to Terminus.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's how
All
I
right.
think it's going to end.
So
We'll
I
get to that.
just- now caught
here's
on
what
that.
we have.
Mm.
We have them walking over a candy wrapper,
Uh-huh.
which is Michonne's favorite.
Which is weird. A whole group full of so-called trackers missed this candy bar.
No, they're not all trackers.
Well,
They're not all hunters
Well, they mentioned
either.
that
And
they
they're not
tracked
tracking
Rick.
anything.
They tracked
They
Rick.
tracked him to a sign. Now they're just following the tracks to the city.
I just think
Yeah.
somebody would notice that. That's just me.
Right, but they wouldn't recognize the brand as being
Oh,
somebody's
of course
favorite.
not. Of course
Of
not.
course,
but-
there's people walking down there. They
okay,
knew
they're
that.
going to Terminus. Yeah, true.
Yeah. They
yeah.
knew they're there, so that's nothing big.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, they're all going to.
all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Daryl and Michonne know each other. They went raiding together. He would know that that was her favorite brand. That's believable, you
It
know.
is.
I mean, he could
It
look
is.
down and be
Alright.
like,
And then
It is.
after he sees that,
he sees the
he's looking
strawberry.
down, and then he goes. Then he claims it.
What the
The
turnip,
radish or
whatever the
turnish
hell
or
it was.
whatever.
I thought it was a strawberry.
Then he's full blown going to act like he's part of the gang.
yeah.
yeah.
That's straight out
No,
of.
I can't kill my dad. Boom.
They copied that
And,
directly on the show.
And then he just sits there and cries. And, you know, I was very disappointed at the comic book. I really wanted to see Carl just
Just
cap
straight up
Rick.
shoe.
bam!
By
I
accident.
wanted to see that.
Comic
I
fans-
wanted Carl to
comic
take
fans hate
over the
Rick.
book.
The comic fans hate Rick.
I just think that would have, but.
Comic fans hate Rick.
I
Rick.
don't
A lot of
hate it. I
people
just
hate
think
Rick.
it would have been a much
Rick.
more interesting
It
book.
would have been. It would have been. We probably would have seen a lot of different stuff happen to Carl.
Yeah.
But
Especially
now
him
I wish
taking
they'd kill off Carl
Yeah, I know, right? In the comic or in the
in
show?
the comic.
Okay.
In the comic, man, Carl is like Terminator.
Yeah.
The motherfucker has a pierced brain.
Yeah. He is. He's awesome.
It's
He's
yeah.
unstoppable, basically.
Well, anyway.
But, yeah. Okay.
So,
So
to
and he
the
reaches
actual-
up and he like grabs him and
Yeah.
you know, he's like I'm okay. You know
Yeah.
I'm gonna survive
in the comic.
I'm
in
gonna
the
make
comic.
Yeah.
So,
Very
but-
similar to the episode.
You know you really they draw it in such a way you think he is turning. You
Okay,
know and but
okay.
you're like he could be turning. Yeah.
Well, that was the same way.
yeah,
in the-
okay.
It was the same way in the show.
I had
It
no
really did.
doubt. No doubt. I didn't think he was gonna die. I didn't. He didn't
In the
even
show.
look that
He was too
sick in the
important.
show.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't.
I mean-
Well, and that's getting to your point. This whole season, what has been different and what has been lacking from previous season is the impending doom. That at any moment, your favorite character could eat it. He could be dead.
and
that
that's
was
not
one.
happening
That
right
was
now.
one of the appeals, early appeals of the show. Like, oh, that's my favorite character.
Oh,
Who's
they did.
gonna die this
They
week?
did.
And now they're sort of not going there.
Well, you know,
and holding it
and-
up for the big
yeah,
moment.
it's starting to get red shirt syndrome.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, I mean,
Because right now,
And
Like,
even that,
at this-
I thought Bob was gonna eat it early. Bob's still going strong, and it's an
Yeah.
awesome
I,
character.
I think they have-
I loved the Bob episode.
With syrup.
nope.
Yes.
Drinking the syrup. I loved it. Yes.
Yeah.
No, okay,
He
and
was by
'cause,
himself
yeah.
and everything.
well,
Yeah.
did
Great.
Bob what they did that like 2 episodes
Yeah.
or whatever ago.
Yeah.
But boy, they show him, and then okay. Also, just to harken back, I've been rewatching some of the earlier seasons.
Okay.
Mhm.
Now, when Rick is on the phone in the prison,
Mm-hmm.
Jim says, "So you want to come with us?
Okay.
So you want to be where we are?" You know.
Uh huh.
Then he asked them the 3 questions.
Oh.
Who asks then?
Jim, the dead guy that Rick's talking to on the fucking
Asks
phone,
Rick the 3
asked the question. So ask him about how many zombies have
Yeah.
you killed?
Oh, wow.
Have you killed
That's
anybody?
interesting.
Why?
That's where he got that idea.
And so, and I
Okay.
didn't realize
Oh, I
that
didn't
till
either.
after, till going back and
Oh.
rewatching.
Wow.
Oh, that's very
Uh,
interesting. That's very.
So,
good.
and then now what had happened? I just watched that
Yeah.
episode with somebody else. Then I watched the Bob episode where Daryl asked Bob those
in
questions,
the flashback,
and I
to
was
for
like,
Bob.
"Holy shit!"
Yeah. Very cool. Very awesome.
It ties in together.
But yeah, no,
Yeah.
that was a hidden gem. Props for putting that in there. Caught me off guard.
Nice.
I don't even know about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I want to go back.
I thought
and
Rick
watch
thought of
again.
that himself.
Yeah.
Or he may
Well,
have
technically he
heard-
did.
Yeah, he did, but he heard it on a phone call.
The
But-
imaginary voices in his head.
Yeah.
Nice.
Now, but the way that Bob's so happy and go lucky, I just broke my streak.
Yeah.
Nobody. I'm not the only
Yeah.
survivor.
Yeah. But but now it does feel
so
like
I
there's
thought
some
Bob was a good part of that episode,
Oh,
and the
definitely.
best part of that episode.
definitely.
Uh,
But now there's more impending doom. You do feel like people could die.
Yeah, right now.
Even though they're
People are
not.
getting
right.
injured and stuff,
Yes.
but they're not, in death.
Yeah.
They're not getting close to
Yeah.
being
I'm just
dead
hoping
yet.
it doesn't go the way of Game of Thrones where they wait for the season finale to kill somebody.
Yeah,
And make
start
it like,
offing
oh, look
people.
what we did. Check it out in the season finale. It's awesome. No, I want people dying episode 4 or 5 into the season.
Mhm.
I just want to buy.
Right. Well,
That was one of the appeals
Like somebody's
of the show.
missing or something like
Or
that.
whatever. That little girl was missing.
Yeah.
What's her name? Sister Lori's.
And
no,
we
not
found
Lori.
Beth.
you're
Well,
talking
yeah,
about
early on was dying.
Mhm.
Season 1.
Oh,
She died in
I
her
know what
arms.
you're talking about.
Andrea. Amy.
Yeah, Amy. Yeah, people were dying in the middle of the season just because it's the zombie freaking apocalypse, and that's what happens.
Yeah,
People-
but I
Right,
think
right.
that's where we
And,
got
and
it.
here's the thing. That's part of the problem. You can't have constantly somebody dying
You can't.
because it becomes too predictable in itself.
No,
It's
no.
got to change up.
I mean, you can have it change up, but why can't we have, all right, here's Abraham and his buddies come up, and instead of only being 3 of them, there's 5 of them, and 2 of them die. I want death
Like they
every
ran-
freaking episode.
let's say they ran into-
if there was
every
death
episode.
every episode,
Well, maybe not every episode, but
I know,
every
there-
couple episodes,
we
something.
need a span. We need a span without
So-
them killing people, so that when they do kill off a few people, a couple
Yeah.
episodes, we're like, holy shit, they.
Well, that was
So basically, Gomer, what you want is them to run into maybe some survivors and just randomly pick
Well,
them
that
up
was-
and they get ate
well, possibly
instead of the
but
main character.
during the governor episodes, those were the most redeeming moments of those. Is when he was killing that Sanchez dude or whatever his name was
Yeah,
with the golf club.
we didn't
That
even
was
know
the
him
best
that
part.
well.
Yeah, that was
They
the
offed
best
him.
part of that whole
That's true.
series. Somebody getting off.
But we knew he was part of Governor's group,
Yeah.
so
Was
we
it
kind of
Sanchez?
knew.
No, that was Martinez.
Martinez, not Sanchez. Martinez.
Martinez which
Is the
he
brother.
actually is an important character
in the comic.
in the comics
Yes.
because he gets invited into the prisons group and plays a spy.
Is that the one that
Oh,
got put in
very
the lake?
nice. And that's for the World War or the 3 war.
No, that's in the prison.
Oh, okay,
Uh,
yeah. Earlier on.
And it's funny because Rick, like, hunts, as soon as he figures out he's a spy,
Yeah.
Martinez takes off. He hunts him down and kills him. Just,
Nice.
like,
Wow.
has to chase him down through the woods and like
Nice.
brutally just
Nice.
Out of
yeah.
it.
So, episode
14.
14, Carol and Tyrese with the
The
gun
kids.
across the table. Well, I was getting past that.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
we're
mean,
going
it's
past the
definitely
kids.
an amazing episode. There's, I love everything about that
I did
episode.
too. I kind of
The
knew.
one.
Go ahead.
Go ahead,
One
Larry.
little complaint that's not even really a complaint.
What?
It would have been more believable if Tyrese offed Carol.
No, I don't know.
No,
I don't think so either.
I'm going to disagree
Although,
with that.
Even though I just said I wish people would die more.
And here's
I
why.
don't,
Yeah.
Why?
All right. Because Tyrese in the show is a nice guy.
He was a nice guy. in
He
the
is a
show.
nice guy.
He's a very nice guy.
Now, he's
I-
kind
he
of
even said-
a douche
Well,
in the comic, isn't he?
now in the comic book, he's Billy Badass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can believe that.
Alright.
After
He's
that
more.
prison scene,
He's a
killing
lot
all the
more.
zombies.
He's a lot more Daryl in the comics than
Yeah.
Tyrese.
Right.
Definitely.
But it would have been an act of mercy
I
for
don't know.
Carol
don't
to be
think
put out of
so.
her misery.
I don't think so.
I
She
don't
was,
know if that's
she
what
was
they were getting
begging
at.
for it.
You think her sliding the gun over to Tyrese was her asking to do it?
Yes.
I don't think it was. I think it was because of the conversation they just had with Tyrese saying, I could see us staying here in this house,
Yeah.
hanging out. I think she was like, all right, I can't live like this with you anymore. I got to come clean no matter what the penalty may be, Tyrese. I'm
Because
leaving it up to
throughout
you.
the entire
This is what happened.
throughout the entire episode, Tyrese kept talking about how he was in love with what's her name
Yeah.
at the prison,
Yeah.
and how he felt about her dying and whatnot. And Carol
Exactly.
knew damn well she knew what
Yes,
she
she
did.
did. Yes.
And then after killing the kid, that's when it broke. And
Yeah.
then she
Well-
was like, "Okay, straight up, I killed her.
Yeah. I think
Off
it was
me if you wish."
I think it was more her coming clean and saying, "I'll put it in your hands. I'll
let
here's
you
the
do
ball's
it.
in your court now, Tyrese.
You make the decision.
Yeah. Now, because he was just saying to her, "Oh, well, I could see us staying in this house," and now she's like, "All right,
Yeah,
now how do you feel
because I'm not gonna lie.
about after me telling you what I did? Now how do you
Because
feel?"
I'm not gonna lie. Even
But
if
I could see it both ways. That's just what
mean,
I thought.
That
Yeah.
was.
I don't see
get
Carol
that
as that being
opinion.
that weak.
no,
I don't see Carol
No,
being
she's
that
very
weak.
strong. She's a powerful character.
Yeah.
That was her low moment.
I
you know?
definitely agree it
and
was
so
low.
she just
Yeah.
killed.
She was giving up.
She just killed the kids that she had accepted as a daughter.
I could
You know,
see
she
where
had
you're going
finally
with it.
that,
yeah.
and so she was like willing. She was willing to let him end it. She at that point
Yeah.
she didn't have the motivation to go on living.
No,
Either way, it's a powerful moment.
it
so,
is. It really
either
is.
way.
And you know, and I'm fine with it either way.
Yeah, I am too. I am too.
I just
I'm
think
satisfied.
that character
Yeah.
would have put her out of her mark.
I like thinking
Mercy,
Carol's
yeah.
stronger than that.
I think so too. I mean,
I-
in that
I'd
case,
like
she
to
could have
think
offed
it.
herself if that was the case. I mean, she could have done it herself and would have been like Tyrese.
I
Look,
definitely don't
Look
think
at
you
me.
should do that.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be. fitting for the character.
You don't think so?
Because that's admitting you're giving up.
Yeah.
I mean, she was basically
No,
on the
no.
breaking point.
Well,
I mean, throughout
okay,
the
but
entire
here
season,
the thing is,
after the prison, everybody's been giving up.
she is a very abused puppy, a kicked puppy.
She's
understand
strong. She's strong.
She-
Yeah,
is
she'll
strong.
survive, but she'll take the abuse and
Mhm.
keep taking the abuse.
Yes.
But
At this
She can
point,
carry a
she's
lot.
like, I'm fine with dying now.
I mean, at this
Yeah.
point, that
I
kind
have
of felt like
noth-
she was giving
But
up.
she was like, I
was
have
quitting.
nothing. I
Yeah.
have nothing left to live for.
Because everybody was like
If
that.
it'll make you happy,
Yeah.
you can kill
Yeah.
me. I'm fine with that. So
I didn't get that vibe, but
I
either
kinda-
either way, I think their relationship is going to be stronger for it.
I
Tyrese and
understand.
Carol,
I mean,
because
yeah, I
everything's
believe
out on
that.
the table now.
They're pretty much like,
That's the leads
all
to
right,
trust.
I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm not gonna do anything. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll accept your apology
Yeah.
and all that junk because I can't fix what's already been done.
Yep.
Let's just move on.
Yeah.
Go to this new place. You deal with what
Yeah.
you did. I'll deal with what you did, and we'll just go our separate
Yeah.
ways.
but really, no,
So,
I
yes.
don't think they're going.
Well,
their
not separate ways.
Yeah, I
I mean,
think
they're
they're
just
going
together.
they're not gonna,
No.
Let's just leave
bring
it.
that up.
Bygones be
Alright.
bygones.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Just shake on.
Water under
I
the bridge.
could
man.
really actually see them hooking up.
I can
I
believe
could
that.
too. I could too.
I can believe that.
Yeah.
Definitely. Be on the road,
Uh,
all together, all alone. They got rid of the kids. They do still got
they
the
got
baby,
but
but that's not going to be a problem.
Yeah, I don't
Carol
think
can,
so either.
can put that baby to sleep.
Yeah.
I
Tyrese
mean, not in a
took care of
bad
it for
way. I'm
days.
just saying.
Tyrese took care of it for days, so yeah, I think they'll be fine.